Finally, the 4 best-looking men at Barstool alone are streamed together. Look at us. Huh? Hey, ladies. A lot of flooding out there right now. Big F, careful. It is unnecessary roughness, but it is a little bit different. So we're on the Unnecessary Roughness YouTube feed, probably on the Facebook too. But this is Stacking Cash, and this is where some college football gamblers get together and talk about the biggest games, or, our favorite picks. We all brought 5 picks. That is Big Ev bringing some Big Ten representation down there, fresh off his loss to Oregon. But it's not about that. It's about what? Stacking Cash. Hello, Big Ev.
Hello, Brandon.
Sorry.
We're talking about gambling, Brandon.
Correct. This is gambling. This is about winning. It's about
I can talk
money.
about that Mississippi State hasn't won an SEC title. I think it was ever or since the 1940s. Something I could have brought that up.
First of all, no, that's incorrect. It's not since ever. It's since 1941, which is a great
So I said
year.
it was either that or the 40s, whatever. Yeah, 40s.
Yeah, 1941.
Since
when
World
you think
War
about
II.
America in 1941, it was a great year for America.
World War II.
It's probably a turning point in this country. You know, we were attacked, and then we ended up rebounding and becoming the biggest superpower the world has ever known. So I would say it was a critical point, Mississippi State winning the SEC championship. So, yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Big F.
But then the World War II went on for another, 3 years after
4.
that?
45.
Oh, okay.
44.
We all know. Just relax. I forgot. It's hot in here. Okay. Okay. Ben Mintz.
How we doing, Brandon? You brought it up. It's rare because you mentioned Ev, Ohio State. What our teams wouldn't know anything about having an early season loss this year.
Oh, yeah, that's not what I wasn't going to say that.
I just always have to hear how our schools are relevant.
Although Tulane's going to be really good this weekend, probably going to win that game. I would imagine.
We'll see about that. But excited to be here for another season of Stacking Cash, making picks against you guys every week against the spread. Thank y'all for having us.
But Big Ev, here's the thing. I think we can all agree who the very worst team in the country is, right?
Mm.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to.
It's unneeded.
I'm not a punch down guy.
Yeah, it's it's unneeded. And this weekend, we're going to respect the troops so much by losing by 1 billion points.
You know what's awesome with UConn?
Tell me.
UConn and UMass will play at some point this year.
Yes.
And it will be the battle for the worst team in the country.
No, it's the cum rivalry.
I'm sorry?
It's the come game.
It's the cum game. Yep. Big Ev knows.
Oh, just like Baylor and Texas Tech is the butt game.
Yes,
This is the cum game.
And
Yep.
it
Lots
will
of semen.
And it will be. It's a shame we can't
They
play.
should play those on the same day. Play the cum
butt.
game early
Cum
and then the
butt.
butt game later. Just go come right into the butt.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where it usually goes.
Uh-huh.
Does it?
I mean, for you, I guess now you have 4 kids.
Yeah.
All right, so it is Stacking Cash. Here it is. We're going to keep up all year our gambling picks. This is strictly a gambling show. We're not talking about Florida's quarterback. We're not talking about Alabama. We're not talking about certain things on teams. We're talking about gambling and gambling only. 5 picks. That way we can keep up with it very easily. 5 picks each week. You bring your best 5. If there's overlap, whatever. This is your best 5. Big Ev, we will start in a round-robin process. That's not round-robin. We'll go round the horn, 1 pick each. Big Ev starts us off with his first pick.
Nevada -1, Brandon.
Nevada -1 at Kansas State.
Because they are a better football team on offense. They're a better football team on defense. They're a better football team, period. They not only have, in my opinion, the best quarterback in the country, who's a legit first-round pick.
Carson Strong.
Yes. They have Romeo Doubs, who's a legit NFL receiver. They have Elijah Cooks, who I also believe is a legit NFL receiver. The left tackle is slipping my name right, or his name is slipping my mind right now, but he's a legit NFL tackle as well. And not only that, Brandon, I brought a little stat for you for this game.
Please.
G5 teams favored over Power 5 teams on the road.
Yep.
Are 17-7.
Wow.
It's pretty
in
good.
the last 24.
Against the spread or straight up?
Straight up, but in this game, Nevada is
It's 1 point.
is laying 1, so they'd have to win the game.
All right, I like it. Are you scared at all that it's like it was at 2, now it's sliding down to 1?
No, not really, because even Kansas State is even public, which I like that. This is one I've been riding for Nevada all offseason. I just genuinely believe they are a much better football team. They beat a Cal team who I think potentially, not saying for sure, could potentially be as good as Kansas State, if not better that was also on the road. I just believe they are a much better football team. I would not be shocked to see them win this game handily.
And K-State's starting quarterbacks out, too.
Yes, and Skylar Thompson's out, so that's huge.
All
Like I
right.
said, I love Nevada.
Ben Mintz.
All right, we're starting out. I got a few big favorites and one underdog. First one, I'm in bounce back spots. People were down on Oklahoma after they played such a poor second half against Tulane. They're winning 37-14 at half, 140-35. They're going to beat Nebraska to within an inch of their lives on Saturday. It's 22.5. It's not that public of a side, but Oklahoma's going to be super motivated playing their old rival Nebraska. Nebraska's trash. It's a statement game for Oklahoma just because Nebraska's a big public program, and I think they're going to get the stench of that Tulane second half out, and they're going to hammer Nebraska. So Oklahoma about 22.5 is my first pick.
I actually like both of these picks so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like both those picks. I will go third. What are you about? What are you about, Indiana? Are you the fraud I've told everybody that you are? Were you overrated the whole offseason? Was your 2020 fake? What are you about, Cincinnati? Are you a legit top 10 team? Do you belong in the playoff hunt? This is where we separate the men from the boys right here. It's Cincinnati, number 8 in the country, at Indiana. Cincinnati is a 4-point favorite. Indiana +4 is the play. Indiana wins the football game. Indiana, it doesn't make sense. This line should be Cincy -8 or 9. Given what we've seen out of Indiana, given what they did at Iowa, Indiana is about something. Cincy has been a great story. Cincy in their conference dominated last year in their conference versus going on the road against a Big Ten opponent that felt like they were pretty good, got hit in the mouth, and now they respond back. Indiana +4 against Cincinnati.
All right, not to make anything personal, but I'm going the opposite way in that game, Brandon. I think Cincinnati, and you know I hate Cincinnati as a program, basketball program, football program, fans, city, the whole nine. However,
Why
I
do
think
you hate
they
the city?
because that's where the school. Well, I actually think Cincinnati is not located in Cincinnati. I think it's located in like Norwood, so it doesn't even count. However, I don't hate the cities or the people. It's just University of Cincinnati fans. The Big 12's you're going to JV Big 12. However, you guys have a really good football team this year. You have a great coach. I think Desmond Ridder is one of the best college quarterbacks in the country. I don't know if he'll translate to the next level. And your defense is great, along with Sauce Gardner on the outside. Indiana, I mean, I think they might even not. Like Michael Penix may not be the best quarterback on that team. The defense, it's going to be a really, really hard-fought game, but I think Cincinnati wins around 24-17. I could see a 27-17. I'm taking Cincinnati -4.
There are a lot of interesting lines. There are a lot of very public lines, and we'll probably have some on our cards. I know, like, a lot of people like Fresno +11 against UCLA. A lot of people like Michigan State +6 in Miami. A lot of people like Penn State -6. So we'll see what's on the card. I try to stay away from some of those because it felt like a little rat poison. Felt like a little mousetrappy week. But Big F, start round 2.
All right, my second pick, BYU catching 3.5 at home. I love BYU in this game. I think people were drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit in terms of just, Zach Wilson's gone. They had kind of a tough game against Arizona. Arizona looked so bad at the end of last year that I think they left such a sour taste in everyone's mouth about how awful they are. They're better. BYU is a legitimate football team. They just beat Utah at home. BYU is sneakily one of the toughest places to play probably in the country.
Probably, yeah.
There's nothing else there but football.
Yeah.
If you watch the game, I know it was late last week. We got back from the trip. I watched it. The place was going nuts in that game. I know Utah, it's a in-state rivalry. I get it. BYU's quarterback also very good. Hall, number 3, legit dual threat guy, can run, throw. They have weapons too. The defense is very good. I love them in this spot. I also like the money line +150, but the pick for this sake is BYU +3. But like I said, I like the money line as well.
Ben Mintz.
Second pick, a lot of my picks are bounce back spots. And taking your alma mater, the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think they're going to get the bad taste in their mouth out there, laying 26 against Tulsa. Catching Tulsa in a good spot. They lost week 1 at home with suspensions to UC Davis. Fought hard against Oklahoma State last week. Oklahoma State pulled away late. Tough spot for them, having to go all the way to Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State's going to want to run it up, get the bad taste out of their mouth, and I think they're going to win by 40.
You're laying 2 big lines so far.
I am. I got more coming, too.
22.5 and 26.
Yep, I am.
Hey,
All right, here's another team. Here's a team that got overrated because they beat North Carolina to open the season. Justin Fuente, the coach at Virginia Tech, was on the hot seat, might still kind of be there, but you'd think he took his name off by beating North Carolina. But they had everything in their favor. North Carolina replacing a lot of talent, and Lane Stadium, Enter Sandman, on a Friday night. Everything was hot. Everything was jumping. Now they go to a team that has the same thing in their favor. Like West Virginia, Neil Brown's in his third year. If he's ever going to do anything, he needs to start doing it. He's not coaching for his job yet, but he's coaching for the right to coach for his job. Neil Brown, I got West Virginia home favorite over a ranked team. I love it. West Virginia -2.5 over Virginia Tech. Jack, you were talking against me here. I'm going to hit you in the face.
No, if you were talking about public favorites, a lot of people are loving Penn State. I think they have a quarterback that stinks. Sean Clifford, it kind of is not. I want to compare him completely to Jake Fromm, but a guy that looked great when he started at Penn State and then ended up not really progressing much. If you look at his stats against Power 5 compared to non-Power 5s, it's not as good. I think he drops off 10 to 15 points in his QBR. And I think Auburn has a pretty good team this year, a top 15 team. Maybe they won't end with a top 15 record, but on the field, they're a top 15 team, and I think we're underrating Bo Nix, as crazy as that sounds. I think 6.5 is too much. I know it's a whiteout environment, but I'm taking Auburn with the points, and I could see them winning. And, so War Damn Eagle.
Penn State 8-8 in whiteout games over the last 16 years.
And
so you think it's the most intimidating thing ever, and it's just not.
The only thing I guess I'll say, the devil's advocate to that point is that those games are usually like Ohio State.
Yeah.
They're big teams. They're big, tough games. So,
but it's also Penn State. They probably think they should be winning those games.
They should.
They should be a major program. And in fairness, they did have a 5 or 6 year stretch where they were dealing with some stuff.
Some probation.
Yeah,
issues
some
and,
stuff.
Yep.
All right, Big F.
All right, my next pick was one of the public dogs you just brought up. I'm going the opposite of the public dog. I'm taking Miami -6 here.
I kind of agree with you.
I was doing this last couple of days. I was really looking at it because I think initially when I saw the line, my brain went Michigan State circle, love it. Then thought about it more. Northwestern, after seeing them on the field, in my opinion, is a bottom 5 Power 5 team this year. They are atrociously bad.
They're only 3-point favorites at Duke.
Exactly. Coming into this year, I was a little higher on them, just thinking that Fitzgerald would be a good enough coach, kind of get it together. They are just horrendous. And I think people are too low on Miami for getting blown out by Alabama, best team in the country, and beating Appalachian State by 2, who Appalachian State is better than a lot of Power 5 teams.
Probably Michigan State.
Could argue Michigan State. Yeah.
I think so. That's what I like Miami laying the points here. I think they get back on track. They had a good win last week. De'Aaron King. They have a much better. They're just so much better than any team Michigan State has played. It would not shock me at all to see Miami blow them out. I like Miami -6.
Ben Mintz.
Going for my third really big favorite here, another bounce back spot. Clemson looked awful on offense against Georgia week 1, lost 10-3. They're taking on the much weaker school from Georgia this week. Georgia Tech lost at home to Northern Illinois. Jeff Collins has not been able to get it going yet in year 3. He's not winning the recruiting battles like he should. Clemson beats them maybe by 49. They're laying 28. They're going to cover. It's going to be 28 by halftime. They are going to massacre Georgia Tech, and DJ is going to start getting back on the right track against weaker competition.
Cumulatively, you are at 76.5 on your.
I am. It's going. I did my 3 biggest ones.
You going to get to 100?
No, we're not.
Okay.
No, I've got one more favorite, and I got one underdog.
Okay. Yeah, so here's a dog, and I think I'm the only person in the company who's picking this. I think there's not a lot of people picking it because people don't like publicly or privately betting against Alabama. They don't like doing it. But it's not like they're undefeated against the spread every year. They're not. I think they were 9-3 against the spread last year. It can happen. Freshman quarterback in Bryce Young, I know they killed Miami. I think there's a big difference in physically pushing around Miami and physically pushing around Florida. They're not going to be able to push around Florida at the line of scrimmage like they did to Miami. If I get Dan Mullen, I get the swamp, I get Emory Jones plus what might be a wild card, Anthony Richardson at quarterback. All I got to do is stay within 14.5 points. 14. I got 14 on the card, so let's say 14. All I got to do is stay within 14 points. I'm going to take the trap. I'm going to take the bait. I'm going to do it. Florida plus 14 against Alabama. Jack.
All right. This one is another scary bet because when you hear it, you think, I can't bet this team. I think we saw a team take a real step forward this past week in New England. Not I'm not going to say University of Connecticut. Oh. They're rivals in the come rivalry, the come game. I think UMass has a decent team this year, which means they're not the worst team. And I think EMU stinks. I think they're going to end up being not one of the best teams in the MAC. They're going on the road after playing Wisconsin last week. They're going to play UMass, and UMass is 22-point underdogs. I think UMass found themselves a nice little freshman quarterback last week against Boston College and put up a decent game against Boston College, who is a good team. And so I'm taking UMass plus 22 at home. I don't know what channel this game is on. It may be on.
I hope it's not on at all.
Yeah. So maybe you'll just gamecast it.
Maybe a Facebook stream.
Yeah. It could be
Local.
Stadium. It
Somebody's
could be Stadium.
phone.
Nesson. It may be on Nesson.
Some guy just in the stands went live.
Yes, on Periscope. Or
Watch it
Periscope.
on Facebook Live.
Yeah, YouTube Live. Yep. So UMass plus 22, and don't tell your friends about this one because they may think you're crazy.
Do you guys remember playing the old NCAA games on PlayStation? I don't know if you're old enough, but the old NCAA football games on PlayStation where every game wasn't on TV. And you
really?
Yeah, you would have a satellite emoji,
Yes.
or you would have like a big emoji, and that would tell you if it was a regional game or a national game. Sometimes you would not be on TV, and you wouldn't have annannouncers for that game, and it was great.
Yes.
It was fantastic.
And it would just be silent.
It was
you would
hear
hear like
it was wonderful. You'd hear the crowd, you'd hear the band, you'd hear. All right, Big F.
All right. Next pick. I'm going to go against a team that I've successfully faded twice against the spread. I'm going for third time in a row. I'm taking Purdue plus 7.5.
Okay.
I just don't think Notre Dame's very good. I think their defense stinks. I just think 7.5 points is way too much. To me, this is literally like a coin flip game. I genuinely believe that. Purdue is not that bad. They're not that great either. But they have David Bell, one of the better receivers in the country, and Jeff Brom in these spots has been phenomenal. And since he's been at Purdue, he is 6-1 against the spread as a road dog.
Ooh.
2 outright wins. I would not be shocked at all to see them win this game. I like Purdue plus 7.5.
This boy brought stats.
And that
I actually forgot one of them. Can I say one from like 3
Please.
picks ago? For BYU, since Herm Edwards has taken over Arizona State, they're 5-12 against the spread as favorites with 5 outright losses.
Okay.
So go back. I love BYU, but I love Purdue also.
that quarterback for Purdue, Plummer.
He's not bad.
I watched them against UConn last week, and it's UConn, but he's good.
He's not bad.
He's not bad, and I think he can definitely keep it within 7.5 points against.
I'm a big Brom. Even that stat obviously is good for Brom, but I think Brom's a good football coach. I genuinely think they can go into Notre Dame and win this game.
Ben Mintz.
All right, we got one underdog this week after taking 3 massive favorites. I've been saying it from the hills. Mike Leach teams are great underdogs and terrible favorites. I've seen what it's like going to the Liberty Bowl as Ole Miss has lost a ton of games up there. Memphis plus 3.5. They got a chance to win the game outright. It's going to be a hell of a game. It's a tough task for State. They got a good home field advantage. Memphis, a lot of weapons on offense. It's a game that can go either way. Leach teams struggle as favorites. We saw it week 1 against Louisiana Tech. We're going to see it again here in the Liberty Bowl.
And who are they playing?
Playing Memphis.
No. Who's Memphis?
Memphis is playing Mississippi State.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was on Mississippi.
I just wanted to make sure.
And I was on Mississippi State against NC State last week. I liked them as a home underdog. Like I said, man, you don't mess with Mike Leach teams when they're underdogs. Going back to Texas Tech, Washington State, but when they're favorites, they struggle. It's a tough spot this week.
Did you see the swag bag that Ole Miss sent Ben Mintz?
Yeah.
That looked like something you would send a second grader that drew a funny picture of your team.
Your tweet was perfect. The private say it.
It looked like something they give a private school kid. The swag bag they give a private school kid because he spent $100 to sign up for their football camp.
Yeah.
Hey man, Ole Miss can send as much gear as they want my way. They send me whatever. I appreciate them supporting me up here. I'm still waiting on Mike Leach and some of the state brass to get in videos with you. But anyway,
Mike Leach has sent me many things.
He sent you a personally handwritten letter.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Memphis
I
plus
remember
4.
that.
But I got 3.5. I'm being honest.
3.5?
Being honest. I would rather have the 4 if you're gonna give me the 4.
It's not going to matter.
Yeah.
My next pick is also from that game, but I don't know if you guys have one this week. Every now and then, I just have a pick where I just feel like the sharpest person in the world because I am going to be the only person in America that bets what I'm about to bet because everybody sees Memphis. Their offense has been great with this freshman quarterback. They gave up 50 points last week, 55-50. That's just been points. Dirty little secret about Mike Leach at Mississippi State. Haven't been very many points. His defense is a lot better than you think. Had NC State, who scored 45 against USF, had NC State 24-3 with 30 seconds left. They scored a garbage touchdown, held them to 10 points. The defense is very good. The offense, since Mike Leach started at Mississippi State, what is this? They played 11 games last year. No, they played 11 games last year, now 2 games this year. I think they've gone over the total of 64 twice, and that was against a bad LSU – no, 3 times. Bad LSU team last year, bad LSU coaching staff, then a freaky game against Missouri where there were a bunch of defensive touchdowns, and then week 1 against La Tech. But Memphis State is going under. Freshman quarterback for Memphis, great defense for Mississippi State, not a great offense for Mississippi State. This game's going to be like 31-23, whereas people think it's going to be 45-42. I think this under is my sharpest pick I've had in a long time. I'm the only guy in America that's going to give it to you. Mississippi State, Memphis, under 64.
Jeez,
I like logic.
it's 64.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how high it was.
Well, it's inflated because the Memphis Arkansas State last
I
week.
would have guessed 58, but
I do like the logic, Brandon.
I think one of my favorite plays or philosophies to do is fading a team against a decent G5 team after fading a Power 5 team after a big win. This week, Arkansas's win on Saturday against Texas. I know it was at a conference, but that was the biggest win. We saw the videos. We saw Arkansas. Nothing against them. They deserve to celebrate because it's been a long, long time. But you saw the field, the people rushing the field. People were crying. Now they have to play a decent Georgia Southern team. A Georgia Southern team that is
it's
going
always
to
dangerous.
Yeah, that it's going to go in there.
Option,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that are going to go in there, and like they're never afraid of. They play Power 5 programs every year. They're going to go in there. Arkansas may be a little sleepy, and they got SEC play coming up. They just want to get this game over with. I think I could see. I don't see an upset brewing, but I do see this within 14 points or so. The clock's going to be running the entire game.
But the line's a lot more than 14, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 23 and a half.
Yeah.
So I am rolling with Georgia Southern plus 23 and a half. That gives us 3 touchdowns of room, and so hopefully Georgia Southern can stay within that number for me. And Arkansas, I think, it's just going to come out a little sleepy. We saw that happen against Rice as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and close her out, Big Ev.
All right, last pick. It was a game you actually mentioned earlier as well. I'm taking Fresno State plus 11.5. I also like the over in this game at 62.5, but my play here is Fresno State plus 11.5. I think this game can become a shootout. I think UCLA is a very good football team, but I think their wins little inflated. We've talked about a lot that LSU is just not that good. It was still it's a good win, but LSU is not some great football team. I don't believe they're a top 25 team. Fresno's shown they're a game team. They went into Oregon. We're beating that team in the fourth quarter. Jake Haener is a great quarterback. This team has weapons all over the place. They will score. UCLA is going to get theirs too, but I think 11.5, a little too many. I think they keep it within the number. I like Fresno State plus 11.5.
All right, Big Ev's card to wrap up. Nevada -1 against Kansas State. BYU plus 3.5 against Arizona State. Miami -6 against Michigan State. Purdue plus 7.5 against Notre Dame. And Fresno State plus 11.5 against UCLA. Ben Mintz.
Well, first of all, I want to say enjoy you wearing my grandfather's alma mater shirt there in Tulane, but the Tulane Green Wave are up against it this week. These Tulane fans are all over my mentions, talking all this noise to me. I know you had a good second half in Norman, Oklahoma, but the train is coming. Tulane's defense will not be able to stop Ole Miss at all. Ole Miss can score infinity against these G5 teams. Ole Miss only laying 14. Bye week next week. Kiffin's calling an SEC team. Ole Miss is going to beat the hell out of them. Ole Miss -14. Final pick.
Can I just stop you right there?
You can stop me whenever you want, Brandon.
You know, Big Ev didn't come on the show picking Ohio State. I didn't come on the show picking Mississippi State. And you showed up to the first time we ever did this and picked not only your team, you also picked against my team, Mississippi State. You had 2 homer picks.
I did have 2 homer picks, but I've loved Ole Miss all week. I just think that Tulane is so overvalued off that Oklahoma second half. These people got the wrong idea. Ole Miss's offense can be stopped by good SEC teams when you beat them at the line of scrimmage, but these G5 teams can't stop this pace. I mean, Ole Miss can score with over under 76.5. I think Ole Miss scores in the 50s.
He also took Ohio State for me.
That's true. He did. He did. All right, so Ben Mentz's picks are Oklahoma -22.5. Ohio State -26, Clemson -28, Memphis plus 3.5. It's plus 4? Plus 4.
Okay. And Ole Miss -4.
What was it?
It was 3.5 is what I saw.
Okay, plus 3.5.
And Ole Miss is 14.
And then Ole Miss -14 against Tulane. And my last pick. All right. Here we go. I know Vanderbilt lost to East Tennessee State to start the season. And I know Stanford looked shitty against Kansas State. Here's the thing about Stanford and Vanderbilt. Stanford has settled into what they're going to be. They had a huge win last week. They got USC's coach Clay Helton fired. That's how good of a game they had last week. They beat USC. Huge moment. Now they travel across the country to a team that opened the season losing to ETSU at home. But Vanderbilt did get up off the mat. They went and beat Colorado State. Also a terrible team. We're talking about nothing but terrible teams here. But if I get 12 points for an SEC team at home, and I get a Vanderbilt that's got Clark Lee, the new coach from Notre Dame, they're going to improve from week to week with this first-year coach, this first-year system, this first-year program. Plus 12, Stanford shouldn't be laying 12 to anybody. I know they did what they did to USC. That was just a fart in the wind. Vanderbilt plus 12 against Stanford. You see that on anybody else's card this week, I will kiss you in the ass. Jack.
I'm almost tempted to take that just so you have to kiss somebody in the ass. I'm going with Oklahoma State plus 4 to round out my card. I think Oklahoma State is one of the most undervalued teams across the nation right now. I think they have a great defense. I would like some more from Spencer Sanders, but I'm not the biggest fan of Gundy, and he'll probably have a disappointing loss, but I don't see it this weekend. I see them going on into the Smurf turf and honestly beating Boise State, but I'm going to take the points just in case. Oklahoma State plus 4, and Brandon, make sure to tell everyone your card because
I got it.
Okay,
I got it.
And my card, just to review. Okay.
I'm going to read it.
Okay.
I've been reading everybody else's card. You don't think I'm going to read your card?
But you didn't read yours, so I thought.
I forgot. We were talking about Vanderbilt and kissing people in the ass.
Okay. No, yeah.
To recap, my card, Indiana minus 4 against Cincinnati.
Plus 4.
Indiana plus 4 against Cincinnati. I wrote it down wrong. Thank you very much. Indiana plus 4 against Cincinnati. West Virginia minus 2.5 against Virginia Tech. Florida plus 14 against Alabama. Memphis, Mississippi State under 64. And Vanderbilt plus 12 against Stanford. Jack Mack's card, Cincinnati minus 4 against Indiana. Auburn plus 6 against Penn State. UMass plus 22 against Eastern Michigan. Georgia Southern plus 23.5 against Arkansas. And Oak State plus 4 against Boise State. You have 4 dogs. I have 3 dogs. Big Ev has 3 dogs.
I have 1.
You have 1.
I do, but I've got the favorites. I've got are all in bounce back spots. They're
Yeah.
all
I
they all
didn't
played.
judge him.
Well, no. I mean,
favorites cover 2.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I'm taking them because they all struggled in games, and so they're
That's
gonna be
almost a
fair
good
bounce-back
shirt
spots.
idea. Favorites cover 2.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us could sell it, but like Big Cat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it was Big Cat's thing, for sure.
Right.
Because no one wants to. If you give out a favorite, they're like, oh,
I should just be like talking to Big Cat and then be like, "Oh, favorite covers too, huh? Yeah, good one,
Yeah.
Big Cat." And he didn't even say it, but I'll just give it to him. And
Yeah.
then, all right, there you go. Stacking cash. Week number 1 for us. Week 3 for college football. We'll do it every single week. You can keep up with it right here on Unnecessary Roughness YouTube channel.